tha had better toimes, if I'd but houd my tongue. Oi've holden my tongue till oi've near stopped my breath. Oi think my heart Oi's soon clemmed to death. Old Dickie's weel crammed, he never were clemmed, and he never picked ower in his loife. We tort on 6 week, thinking each day were the last. We shifted and shifted, till now we're quite fast. We lived upon nettles, while nettles were good, and Waterloo porridge the best of our food. I'm telling you true, I can find folk enow who were living na better nor me. Old Billy a dance at the Bailey's one day for a shop debt I owed him as I could not pay, but he were too lat, for old Billy o' the Bent had sowed the tit and cart and ta'en goods for the rent. We'd nowt left but the old stool that were seats for two, and on it cowered Marget and me. Then the Baileys looked round as sly as a mouse. When they seed as all the goods were taken out o' the house, says one chap to the t'other, "A's gone, thou may see." Says oi, "Ne'er fret, mon, you're welcome to me." They made no more ado but whopped up the old stool, and we both leet whack upon the flags. Then oi said to our Marget, as we lay pon the floor, "We's never be lower in this world, I'm sure. If ever things a turn, I'm sure they mun mend, for oi think in my heart we're both at the far end. For meat we have none, nor looms to weave on. Edad, they're as good lost as found." Our Marget de cares had hoo clothes to put on, who'd go up to Lunnon and talk to the great mon. And if things were na altered when there who had been, who's fully resolved to sew at moth an end. Who's nowt to say again the king, but who loikes a fair thing, and who says who can tell when who's hurt. Asterisk. Clem, to starve with hunger. Quote, hard is the choice when the valiant must eat their arms or clem. Unquote, Ben Jonson. Clem, to pick o'er, means to throw the shuttle in hand-loom weaving. The air to which this is sung is a kind of droning recitative, depending much on expression and feeling. To read it may perhaps seem humorous, but it is that humour which is near akin to pathos, and to those who have seen the distress it describes, it is a powerfully pathetic song. Margaret had both witnessed the destitution and had the heart to feel it, and withal her voice was of that rich and rare order which does not require any great compass of notes to make itself appreciated. Alice had her quiet enjoyment of tears, but Margaret, with fixed eye and earnest dreamy look, seemed to have become more and more absorbed in realizing to herself the woe she had been describing, and which she felt might at that very moment be suffering and hopeless within a short distance of their comparative comfort. Suddenly she burst forth with all the power of her magnificent voice, as if a prayer from her very heart for all who were in distress, in the grand supplication, "Lord, remember David." Mary held her breath, unwilling to lose a note, it was so clear, so perfect, so imploring. A far more correct musician than Mary might have paused with equal admiration of the really scientific knowledge with which the poor depressed-looking young needlewoman used her superb and flexile voice. Deborah Travis herself, once an Oldham factory girl and afterwards the darling of fashionable crowds as Mrs. Knivet, might have owned a sister in her art. She stopped, and with tears of holy sympathy in her eyes, Alice thanked the songstress, who resumed her calm demure manner, much to Mary's wonder, for she looked at her unweariedly, as if surprised that the hidden power should not be perceived in the outward appearance. Quiet enough to hear a fine, though rather quavering, male voice, going over again one or two strains of Margaret's song. "That's grandfather!" exclaimed she. "I must be going, for he said he should not be at home until past 9. "Well, I'll not say nay, for I have to be up by 4 for a very heavy wash at Mrs. Simpson's, but I shall be terrible glad to see you again at any time, lasses, and I hope you'll take to one another." As the girls ran up the cellar steps together, Margaret said, "Just step in and see grandfather. I should like him to see you." and Mary consented. End of chapter 4.